first at 10, it's an epidemic that many of our neighbors are battling and losing every single day. More than 300 people died in just the first 5 months of 2023 here in Oklahoma from fentanyl. 2 News Oklahoma's Steph Manchin joins us in studio. She shares the story from Light of Hope, a local church that partnered up to bring awareness and more conversations to the dangers of the substance.
Naomi, it was a powerful evening at the Southern Hills United Methodist Church where resources, testimonies, and education were shared. So many in that room knew all too well the devastation that fentanyl can bring. Kenny Brand is one of them.
One of the best humans I know, Josh was.
After dealing with 16 challenging years of drug addiction, Kenny Brand has been sober nearly 5 years. He is keenly aware that not everyone is lucky enough to make it out the other side.
I never personally was addicted to fentanyl, but this time last year, March 25th, my best friend passed away from fentanyl, so it hit close to home.
Brand's best friend Josh was sober for 6 years before his addiction crept back in. It's now Brand's life mission to share Josh's story and try to save anyone else who may be struggling with their own addiction. Leaders from many different spaces across the community talked about the work they do to try to prevent any future tragedies. As executive director of Light of Hope, Nancy Phelps puts it, it's no longer a don't do drugs approach, but rather a this is what will happen if you do.
We like to think that it's in the bigger cities and nowhere around our area, but it is here. And sadly, it's really here.
Brand tells me his family took him to Light of Hope for support. While Josh went to a 30-day recovery, he did not seek out a similar resource.
Honestly, whenever you're going through those addictions, it's really hard to convince yourself that that's where you need to be unless something major happens. What I could do for him was to continue to love him through everything he was going through. I loved him till the very end.
Phelps says it's imperative that these conversations continue in our community so they can reach those struggling with substance abuse and give them even a glimmer of hope. For that exact reason, Light of Hope intends to hold many more similar discussions in Tulsa in the near future. In studio, Steph Manchin, 2 News, Oklahoma.